Today, we're going to talk about necklines and how they can affect the way an outfit makes you look and feel. Different types of necklines will cater to different types of facial shapes, as well as your shoulder width. And certain necklines will work better for you and be more flattering than others. So, first, let's start with a crew neck. Okay. A crew neck typically is a little closer up here. It's not as deep as a scoop neck, but it's that rounded neckline. So if we're going to do a crew neck, it's going to be pretty straight across the board for most people as far as emphasizing the width of your shoulders if you're wide or narrow. However, the crew neck on a more angular face shape is going to compete with it. Whereas something more like a V-neck, for instance, I have a more angular jawline, not as angular as I age, it is softening a little bit, but a crew neck is not as flattering on me as a V-neck. And I'm going to show you later on how you can kind of make a crew neck work, even if you tend to have a more angular face shape. But a crew neck would work well on, say, my daughter, who has a rounder, softer face shape. So you kind of want to pair it up. I'm not going to go too much into face shape in this video. That could be one for another day. But all of these are topics that I cover during my styling sessions. I also go over the shape of glass frames, the shape of jewelry, and how those can flatter or compete against you. But today, let's just stick with the necklines. So we have crew necks, and then we also have a V-neck and a V-neck, as you can see that I have on today. And there's ways to create the illusion of a V-neck, even when you don't have one. But a V-neck is typically going to be more slimming. The eye follows lines. So you can bring a line this way, or you can bring it down this way. And if you were trying to look for a more slimming effect, the V-neck is going to be your friend. It's also going to create a more slendering effect if you have wider shoulders. Next, we have the straight or angular boat neck. Okay, so the boat neck is going to broaden your shoulder. So if you're somebody with real narrow shoulders and you want to look up here a little bit broader, you want to appear a little bit broader, go for a straight line because it's going to draw the eye this way. And again, we won't get into it today, but this can also be achieved with prints. So that's a discussion for another day. But just think of a big block print that's running vertically across the top part of your garment. That's going to give you a broadening effect. So if you're really narrow shouldered, this is your friend. So you can play with it, see what you think, that kind of thing, but it's also more angular. So it's a straight line. It's not going to be as flattering on someone with a more curved face, but with somebody with a little bit sharper angles, it'll work. We also have square necks, and the square neck, it's not going to broaden you quite as much because you are going to have two lines coming down here. It's just going to be more square versus your boat neck that's more open. However, it will have a little bit more of a broadening effect than, say, a V-neck. So I'm going to show you some comparisons here on the same model. My model is AI generated, so no worries about me showing somebody without their permission. So here you can see I have a crew neck, and what I've done is I've created a V with it by putting a blazer over it. You can also do this with a piece of jewelry, maybe a longer necklace that creates a V, or a scarf tied so it makes a V. So if you have that favorite crew neck and you are a little more angular, or you're looking to minimize some shoulder width, it's okay. You don't have to get rid of it. Just maybe put something over it that will create the illusion of a V. Next, I have up for comparison a boat neck and a V-neck. So again, you can see when it's side by side, it's the same exact model. But with your V-neck, she's going to appear a little more narrow. With a boat neck, it's going to feel like her shoulders have opened up and they're a little wider. And next up, I have the crew neck versus the square. And again, you can see how that crew neck has that softening effect. A scoop neck would do the same thing. So if you have like a little bit of a fuller, rounder face and you want to keep with that line, a scoop neck would do the same thing. Where you can see on this gal, she has a little bit more angular of a jawline. So that square neck is much more flattering on her than the crew neck. What do I have last? I don't even know. I think that's it. I went over all of them. The only thing I didn't picture was a scoop neck, but a scoop neck's gonna be very similar to your crew neck. It's only gonna be deeper. So if you are bigger up here, it may show a little more cleavage, but it's gonna follow with that curved line. So there's no real hard and fast rules. Wear what you feel good in. But if you're looking to diminish some white shoulders or to accentuate some narrow shoulders and make them look a little bit wider, these necklines can help you. And it also helps you to know that with a more angular face, a more angular neckline, with a rounder, softer face, a softer, rounder neckline typically will be more flattering. So I hope this is helpful. Post in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on this and reach out with any questions. I am going to put a link to my website at the end of this video. And on there, you can see all of my services. I do offer in person styling services. So I'm sorry, gals, if you're not local, it's a little hard for me to help you out with this. But this is just a small snippet of what we go over in the styling sessions. And of course, you leave with this full dossier or I order a full dossier for you. That's that way you can have it all to remember. So you don't have to keep it all up here. All right. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.